Ladies and gentlemen, we officially welcome you to Bellator 222 as the weigh-ins now get underway. A couple of quick pieces of information for those that are joining us today and tomorrow here at Madison Square Garden. We will kick off the action as doors open at 6 o'clock here at Madison Square Garden tomorrow. And then first fight inside the Bellator cage. It'll be live on Digital Start at 6:30. If you don't have your tickets, you can hit the box office here at the world's most famous arena and pick up your tickets for tomorrow night's action. For those joining us on the live stream, we welcome you to Midtown, New York City. Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, plays host once again as Bellator returns for Bellator 222. I'm Mike Williams, cage announcer for Bellator MMA, and joined on stage by the lovely ladies of Bellator MMA, Louise Mackay, and of course, Mercedes Terrell. And joining us here momentarily as we weigh in and face off the prelim fighters will be the VP of Talent Relations, Mr. Rich Chow. Once we get to the main card, we'll welcome Mr. Scott Coker to the stage. The weigh-ins today, tomorrow's action, all sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Executive Director overseeing the action, Kim Sumbler. Again, the action will get underway 6:30 on the prelim card, live on DAZN. We will start the weigh-ins now with our prelim fighters. Your first two fighters set to weigh in. It will be a middleweight contest, Hawes and Wilcox. As always, we'll put the blue corner on the scale first. If you'd please welcome your first fighter, making his way to the scale out of Philadelphia, PA, 6'3" as a professional. Please welcome Michael Wilcox. With one knockout, 4 submissions to his credit. On the scale, the Cowboy weighs in officially 185.4, 185.4. And now his opponent out of Little Ferry, New Jersey, at 4-2 as a professional. Please welcome Phil Hawes. Three knockouts, 1 submission to his credit. Zilla officially weighs in 186 pounds even. 186 for Hawes. Third straight weekend for DAZN here at the world's most famous arena. And there's how we kick it off. Prelim card, Hawes and Wilcox on weight. Middleweights will kick us off again 6:30 live on DAZN. Now coming up next, it'll be a lightweight fight, 155 pounds, 3 5-minute rounds. The first fighter making his way to the scale by way of Tajikistan, fighting out of Brooklyn, New York. Please welcome Nick Cruz Mirhojayev. As a professional, he returns to the Bellator cage, 4-2 overall. He's got 1 submission to his credit. For the lightweight fight, he weighs in officially 154 pounds for Mirhojayev. And now his opponent, fighting out of Spring Valley, New York, by way of Stamford, Connecticut, 5-1 as a professional. Please welcome the Blueprint, Marcus Surin. $155.6, 155.6 pounds for Surin. There's your second fight All set off the scale. We'll go to fight number 4 of the night. We'll come back and pick up fight 3 just a little bit later. This will be a bantamweight contest, 135 pounds. Will be the weight limit. First fighter up from Newark, New Jersey, El Gallo. Please welcome Sebastian Ruiz. By way of Lima, Peru, he fights out of Newark at 2-2 as a pro. Officially on the scale, 135.6 pounds, 135.6. And now his opponent returning to the Bellator cage by way of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He fights out of Waterbury, Connecticut. Please welcome the Savage, Mike Kimball. At 2-1 as a pro, both his wins by way of knockout. Officially 136.6 on the scale. 136.6 pounds for Kimball. There's your bantamweight fight set. Sebastian Ruiz, Mike Kimball. 3 5-minute rounds of prelims live on DAZN. Next up, it'll be a catchweight fight. Pardon me. Yeah, catchweight fight. 180 pounds for the two fighters. By way of Brooklyn, New York. Originally from Curitiba, Brazil. Please welcome Gustavo Villager. The veteran comes in with 22 wins, 22 losses, 6 knockouts, 13 submissions to his credit. Many know the veteran as the showman. On the scale, officially 176 pounds. 176 pounds for Gustavo. And now his opponent returning once again to the Bellator cage. He's 10-6 overall. 3 knockouts, 7 submissions to his credit. By way of Batiam, Israel, this is the Israeli Batman, Haim Ghazali. Official weight 178 pounds for this 180 catchweight affair. Ghazali. There's the catchweight fight, 180 pounds. Hurlitzer and Ghazali. Prelims, again, you can see all the action from the first fight to the very last post-lim, all live on DAZN. Coming up next, the catchweight fight, 112 pounds. The ladies take over, set for 3 5-minute rounds. First up, blue corner at 5-1 overall as a professional, 1-0. Successful in her Bellator debut so far. She returns. Please welcome the damsel, Lindsay Van Zandt. And on the scale officially, Lindsay Van Zandt weighs in 111.4 pounds, 111.4 for Van Zandt. And now her opponent, making her Bellator debut. She's 8-2 as a professional. She comes to us from Tokyo, Japan. Please welcome Rena Kubota. And Rena officially weighs in 111.2 pounds. That's one of our fighters coming to us from Ryzen Fighting Federation to fight here at Madison Square Garden for the weekend for Bellator 222. Again, put your hands together, please, for Lindsay Van Zandt, Rena Kubota. And next up, it'll be a flyweight fight set for 3 5-minute rounds on the prelim card live on DAZN. We welcome first out of Detroit, Michigan, by way of Hillsdale, Michigan, making her Bellator debut. She's 0-1 overall as a pro early on. Please welcome Larkin Dash. On the scale officially, 125.8, 125.8 pounds for Dash. And now her opponent, early on as a professional, she's 1-0. That win coming by way of knockout and happening inside the Bellator cage. She returns tonight fighting out of Miami, Florida. Please welcome Master Valerie Lorena. Official weights, 125 pounds even for Lorena. All right, coming up next on the prelim card here at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, will go to a featherweight contest, again set for 3 5-minute rounds, and this will be a good one. First up, blue corner, fighting out of Auger, Hungary, and now out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He's 12-0 as a professional, 2 knockouts, 6 submissions to his credit. Please welcome the kid, Adam Boric. Official weight, 145.4 pounds, 145.4 for Boric. And now his opponent, overall as a professional, he's 4-2. It's his second time fighting already here at the Garden. Now fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, by way of Whittier, California. Please welcome Aaron Pico. And the official weight for Pico, the same, 145.4 pounds, 145.4. Once again, put your hands together, a featherweight contest. 2 great fighters early on in their careers, Boric and Pico. Coming up next, a New York-based, Brooklyn-based fighter in the red corner. But first, her opponent. This will be a contest at 128 pounds. Out of the blue corner first, out of Knoxville, Tennessee. She's 3-5 as a professional, making her Bellator debut. Please welcome Taylor Turner. And the official weight for Turner, 127.8. 127.8 pounds for Turner. And now her opponent, a Brooklyn resident and native at 2-1 early on as a professional mixed martial artist, but as a professional boxer, 22-0, and the holder of the WBO featherweight world title. Again, we welcome, please, from Brooklyn, New York, the Heat, Heather Hardy. $127.8, 127.8 for Hardy. Next up on the prelim cards, featherweights, again set for 3 5-minute rounds live on DAZN. First fighter by way of Newport Beach, California. He fights out of Queens, New York. Please welcome Kenny Two Knives Rivera. At 2-1 as a professional, one victory coming by way of submission. On the scale officially 145.8, 145.8 pounds for Rivera. And now his opponent as a professional early on. He stands at 2-2 from Brooklyn, New York, the John Beneducci. Both of John's victories coming by way of submission. And the official weight, 146 for Beneducci, 146 even. And next up on Bellator 222, the prelim card here at Madison Square Garden tomorrow night. We'll go to a catch-weight fight, 165 pounds. Introducing the blue corner first out of Brooklyn, New York. Please welcome Whitney, the Bully, Jean-Francois. And official weight for Whitney, 163.8, 163.8 pounds. And now his opponent back in the Bellator cage from Greenwich, Connecticut at 2-3 overall as a pro. Please welcome Castriot Slaughterhouse Gemma. $164.6 pounds, 164.6 pounds for Gemma. Next up on the prelim cards, flyweight set at 125 pounds. Of course, 3 5-minute rounds. First, blue corner from Saratoga Springs, New York, 1-2 early on as a professional. Back in the Bellator cage, please welcome Brandon Polker. And his official weight, 126 pounds, 126 for Polker. His opponent out of the red corner making his professional debut from the Bronx. Please welcome Brandon B52 Medina. And Medina's official weight, 124.8, 124.8 for Medina. And our final prelim set for tomorrow night's action, Bellator 222, will feature one of the two Gracies on the fight card tomorrow night. But first up, out of the blue corner, out of the Bronx, New York, making his professional debut, please welcome Oscar Vera. And the God of War, again, making his professional debut, weighing in officially 168.8 pounds, 168.8 pounds for this welterweight contest. And now his opponent, by way of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, he fights out of New York, New York. He's 1-0 so far as a professional. That win coming inside the Bellator cage by submission. Please welcome Hobson Gracie Jr. Officially on the scale, 168.6 pounds, 168.6 pounds for Gracie. And there's your prelim card tomorrow night. Bellator 222 back at the Garden here at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. We'll move on to the main card here momentarily, but first let's welcome all those that are now joining us on the live stream around the world for today's weigh-ins from New York City. In the main card tomorrow night, two world titles on the line, two icons square off, and we'll know who will be in the $1 million welterweight World Grand Prix final. Again, all upon the conclusion of tomorrow night's main card here at the Garden. First up, we'll kick off the televised card, the main card, live on DAZN with a world title fight. Five-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. First, we'll welcome the challenger coming to us all the way from Japan. He holds the Ryzen Bantamweight World Championship, looking to own two simultaneously. His professional record, 27 victories, just 2 defeats. Please welcome the veteran. This is Kiyoshi Horiguchi. Fighting out of Takasaki, Gunma, Japan. This, as you know, a rematch from the fight that took place December 31st of last year. This one, however, for the Bellator bantamweight strap, the challenger on the scale officially 134.4 pounds. 134.4 pounds for the challenger, Horiguchi. And now his opponent at 13-2 as a professional, 10-1 inside the Bellator cage. By way of San Diego, California, he hails from Rahway, New Jersey. Please welcome the reigning Bellator bantamweight world champion, the Wolf, Darian Caldwell. Official weight 134.6 for Caldwell, 134.6 for the champion. On your right, the rising bantamweight champion looking for a second strap. That's Kyoji Horiguchi. On your left, the defending Bellator bantam champ, Darion Caldwell. And that kicks off the main card live on DAZN from the Garden. Of course, just welcoming Bellator president, Mr. Scott Coker, to the stage as we move through our main card. Second fight up will be a featherweight contest. First fighter to make his way to the scale from Venice Beach, California. He's 22-1 as a pro, 4-0 inside the Bellator cage, riding a 17-fight win streak. Please welcome the Spaniard, Juan Archuleta. 10 knockouts, 1 submission to his credit, officially on the scale, 145.8. 145.8 for Archuleta. And now we welcome the two-time former Bellator bantamweight world champion, moving up to featherweight for this fight, of course, 21-6 as a pro. Please welcome from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Dudu Eduardo Dantas. 145.6 for Dantas. 145.6. And next up, we'll move back down to the bantamweight division. We'll welcome a Bellator newcomer who's 10-0 as a professional from Angola, New York. He trains now out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Please welcome Patrick Patchy Mix. Official weight, 135.6. 135.6 for Mix. And now his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, 11-2 as a professional. He's 1-1. 2 hard-fought fights inside the Bellator cage. He fights out of Brick, New Jersey. Please welcome Ricky Bandejas. 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. To his credit, officially on the scale, 136 even, 136 pounds even for Bandejas. Six fights scheduled on the main card, live on DAZN. That is fight number 3. Next up, it'll be a catchweight fight set at 175 pounds. First up, a Bellator newcomer who early on in his pro career stands at 3-2. Please welcome Max Humphrey. Training out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. $174.4 pounds, 174.4 for Humphrey. And now his opponent in his second professional contest, his debut for MMA professionally, happened inside the Bellator cage. He took that win by submission. He's back once again, and here in his hometown at Madison Square Garden from New York, New York, please welcome Dylan Dennis. The 4-time world grappling champion, again, his second professional MMA contest tomorrow night, officially 175 on the scale, 175 pounds even. And now we go to our double main event for tomorrow night, and we kick it off with two icons of the sport matching up and throwing down for the first time against one another. Would you please welcome the first fighter out of the blue corner, invariably outspoken, never. This guy is MMA. Would you please welcome the veteran with 30 professional victories, 16 defeats, and 1 draw. 2-2 in the Bellator cage from West Lynn, Oregon, the American gangster, Theron. This is Chael Sonnen. Officially 205.6, 205.6 on the scale. And now his opponent making his second appearance inside the Bellator cage. He's 1-0 so far at Bellator, 25-8 overall. As a professional, would you please welcome from Belém, Brazil, this is the Dragon, Lyoto Machida. As a professional, 10 knockouts. 2 wins by submission, the former light heavyweight world champion on the scale at 204.4 pounds. 204.4 pounds for Machida. And there's your first of our double main event. Our second main event of the evening tomorrow night here from the Garden will be a 5-round contest. It'll be the conclusion of our semifinal round for the $1 million Welterweight World Grand Prix to determine our second finalist, the one that will take on Douglas Lima for that $1 million and for what will be the Bellator welterweight title. That welterweight title contested tomorrow night as well, of course, in this 5-round contest. First up, we'll introduce the challenger. He fights out of New York, by way of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Please welcome the undefeated challenger, Neiman Gracie. Seven 7-0 inside the Bellator cage with 6 submissions, 9-0 overall. Official weight 169.8, 169.8 pounds for Gracie. And now his opponent, 20 professional victories against 5 defeats and 1 draw. He's 2-1-1 inside the Bellator cage from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Would you please welcome the reigning and defending Bellator welterweight world champion, the Red King, Rory MacDonald. Seven knockouts, 7 submissions to his credit officially on the scale, 169.4. 169.4 from MacDonald. The winner takes the strap and moves on to the welterweight final to face Douglas Lima for the $1 million. It's on. 5 5-minute rounds for the Bellator welterweight world championship. Neiman Gracie, the challenger, and the champion, Rory MacDonald. Thank you so much for joining us here at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. Again, doors open at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. 6:30, first fight live on DAZN. For those joining us worldwide on the live stream, we thank you for joining us here in New York City as well, and we'll see you tomorrow night for Bellator 222 live on DAZN.